Your mother is standing in her own kitchen and she presses a small button hanging around her neck. Somewhere, a call center answers. That is the entire product. A button and a voice on the other end. And for that button, one of the most famous names in this whole industry will charge her close to $3,000 over 3 years. And here's the part that should make you angry. It will not let her quit, even if she wants to. My name does not matter. What matters is that my parents got talked into things they did not need 3 separate times. And the last one nearly cost them $13,000 for a bathtub. So now I read the fine print that these companies are hoping nobody in your family ever reads, and I tell you exactly what I find. No sponsors on this channel. Nobody paid to be on this list, and nobody paid to be left off it. Today, we are going through medical alert systems, those little pendants and wristbands that are supposed to call for help when an older person falls. I am going to show you 6 of them, or really 6 ways they are sold, that you should stop buying in 2026. And then 3 companies that actually do right by your parents, the ones I would put on my own mother tomorrow without thinking twice. Before we start, one promise, because I know some of you are only half listening while you make dinner or drive. The number 1 thing on this list is not a brand at all. It is a single move that turns that $3,000 bill into about $900 for the exact same button around your mother's neck. It costs you nothing but 5 minutes and 1 phone call. Stay to the end for that one because it is the whole difference between protecting your parent and quietly paying the salary of a sales department that found them first. Let us start where almost everybody starts because it is the name your mother already knows from the television. Number 6. Life Alert. Life Alert built its entire reputation on one commercial, the woman on the floor who has fallen and cannot get up. That image is burned into the memory of an entire generation, and the company has been charging for that memory ever since, for almost 40 years. Here is what they do not put in the commercial. Life Alert locks you into a 3-year contract, and it is the only major provider left in the entire industry that still does this. Nearly everybody else stopped years ago. Now think carefully about what a 3-year contract actually means for a woman who is 80 years old. There are only 2 ways out of it. The first is that she moves into round-the-clock nursing care, with paperwork from a doctor to prove it. The second is that she dies. Those are the exits in writing. I am not stretching this for effect. The way you leave a Life Alert contract early is by entering a nursing home or by passing away. A state attorney general even stepped in a few years back and made the company formally promise to clean up how it was handling these agreements. Now the money, and stay with me because this is the part that matters most. The basic service is advertised starting around $50 a month, but they require you to add at least 1 device to that basic box. So in the real world, you are starting closer to $70 a month, and a full setup with the mobile button runs closer to $90. On top of the monthly fee, there is a one-time charge for activation and installation, somewhere between about $200 and $245, depending on the package, which is nearly triple what most of their competitors ask. One reviewer added up her real first year with Life Alert, monthly fees plus that setup charge, and it came to $1,277, and you are locked in for 2 more years after that. And watch how the add-ons work because this is where the real bill gets built. That wall-mounted help button by the door and the mobile pendant that would actually protect your mother once she leaves the house, neither one can be bought on its own. Each is an extra charge of around $20 a month, and each can only be added on top of the base home system. So the version of Life Alert that genuinely covers your parent at home and out in the world is not the $50 headline at all. It is the $90 bundle, plus the setup fee, locked in for 36 straight months. The low number in the advertisement is a door, and it only opens one direction. Here is the multiple that should stop you cold. Independent reviewers put the industry average for this basic service at around $29 a month. Life Alert's basic service costs about 73% more than that average. And for that extra money, you get less, not more, because Life Alert does not even offer automatic fall detection, which is the one feature families most want, and which the cheaper companies now include as standard. So follow the logic with me. You are paying roughly double the going rate for an older and more limited service, and you are signing away 3 years of your parents' life to do it. And after all of that, your mother never even owns the equipment. It is a lease. When she finally cancels, she has to package up every piece and ship it back. And if she tries to leave early for a reason the company does not accept, there can be a penalty of up to $400 waiting for her on the way out the door. So here is the rule, and this is the first one I want you to write down. A medical alert is a month-to-month service, It is not a mortgage. If a company has to trap your parent for 3 years, it is because it already knows she would walk away the very first month she was allowed to. But at least Life Alert is a real company that answers the phone when you call it. The next thing on this list is not selling your parents a device at all. It is hunting them. Number 5, the free medical alert that calls your parents on the telephone. Your mother's phone rings. A recorded voice, very serious, starts talking about how many older people fall every year and how many of them die on the floor waiting for help that never comes. And then the voice delivers the good news. Someone who loves her, a friend, a family member who wishes to remain anonymous, has already paid for a medical alert system just for her. It is completely free. All she has to do is press 1 right now to claim it. It is a lie, every single word of it. Nobody bought her anything. And I am not guessing about this. The Federal Trade Commission and a state attorney general took one of these operations all the way to court. A company that had been firing millions of these illegal robocalls at elderly people, many of whom were on the national do not call list, using fake, spoofed caller identification so nobody could trace where the calls came from. A second operation running the very same script was shut down for cheating people out of nearly $23 million. Some of these callers went so far as to claim the American Red Cross or the American Heart Association had recommended them. Also a lie, start to finish. Here is how the trap actually closes, so you can hear it coming. The moment your mother presses 1, a real, warm, friendly person comes onto the line. And to send her that free device, they explain, they just need a little information from her bank account number or her card, only to cover the small monthly monitoring fee. And now, just like that, they have her banking details, and a charge she never truly agreed to, and a cancellation process that was designed from the beginning to be impossible. So the rule for this one is short, and it protects your family against far more than medical alerts. Nobody legitimate hands your mother a life-saving device as a surprise over the phone. Real help does not cold call. Remember what I told you at the start. The number 1 move on this whole list is about who you contact, never who contacts you. If a medical alert found your mother first, it is not a gift, it is bait. Now, most of what is left on this list is not a single company. It is a set of tricks that show up across a dozen different brands. And once you can actually see these tricks, you can never quite be fooled by them again. Number 4, the contract hiding inside the words, no contract. This is my least favorite trick of them all, because it turns your own carefulness against you. A company advertises no long-term contract in big friendly letters, so your daughter feels safe signing your father up. And then, buried down in the terms, there is a minimum commitment, a lock-in period you have to keep paying through, before that flexible monthly plan they promised actually begins. It is a contract, wearing a costume with the words, not a contract printed on it. The honest version of this business does exist, and thankfully it is common now. Real month-to-month means your family can call today, cancel today, ship the box back, and stop paying, with no penalty and no argument on the line. That is the standard the good companies already hold themselves to, so there is no reason to accept anything less. So here's the rule. If a company says no contract but will not promise, out loud, that you can cancel this very month with nothing owed, then it has a contract. It is just hoping your family will not read far enough down the page to find it. Number 3, the salesman at the door and the pen on the kitchen table. Some of these companies still send an actual person to your parents' home to deliver the device and, very conveniently, to lay a contract down on the kitchen table and put a pen in your father's hand while they stand there and wait. It feels like service. It feels like care. It is actually the oldest pressure tactic there is, because a signature your father gives with a stranger watching him in his own living room is a signature he never gets the chance to sleep on. And with some of these in home setups, the moment he signs, the normal return window he would have had if the box had simply arrived in the mail quietly disappears. The rule here is the same rule my own father should have followed with that $13,000 bathtub. No good decision expires the moment the salesman leaves the house. If an offer cannot wait until tomorrow, until a son or a daughter can sit down and read the very same page, then it was never a fair offer to begin with. And before we get to the 2 biggest traps of all, and then the 3 companies I would actually trust, do one small thing for me. If you have a parent living alone, send them this video right now. Or better yet, stay on the phone and watch the rest of it together. This whole channel exists for exactly one reason, so that nobody in your family ever signs one of these things in the dark. And look down in the comments, because people are already posting the real monthly numbers they are being quoted, company names and dollar figures, which is the price transparency this industry has spent decades trying to avoid. Add your family's quote when we are done, because the two worst traps are still ahead of us. The one at number 2 is the trap your parents are the most likely to fall for, because it wraps the whole con up inside the flag, and almost every family believes it. And after that comes the move at number 1, the one that quietly puts almost $2,000 back in your parents' pocket. Number 2, the Medicare lie. This is the one that makes me angriest of all because it wraps the whole scam up in the flag. A caller or an advertisement tells your mother that Medicare has approved a free medical alert system just for her, that it is covered, that she has qualified for it. Some of them will flatly claim they are calling from Medicare itself. So here's the plain and simple truth, and I want you to hold on to it. Original Medicare, the Part A and Part B that your parents actually have, does not cover medical alert systems. It does not. It does not treat them as the kind of durable medical equipment that it pays for, and as of this year, none of that has changed, no matter what a voice on the telephone tells your mother. There is one honest wrinkle, and I am going to give it to you straight, because good information is the only real armor your family has. Some Medicare Advantage plans, the private Part C plans, may choose to chip in on a system as an added perk. Some long-term care insurance policies may help, and in certain states, Medicaid may help too. But notice what that means. That is your parents' own specific plan deciding to offer a benefit, and it is something your family confirms by calling that plan directly and asking. It is never something a stranger confirms for your mother by surprise over the phone. Anyone who calls her and says that Medicare sent them is lying to her, and they are lying for one reason: to get inside her bank account. So the rule, and it is a clean one. Medicare does not telephone your parents to give them free things. If the word Medicare comes out of the mouth of a person who dialed your mother's number, that is your signal to hang up. Number 1, and this is the move I promised you at the very beginning. The one that turns $3,000 into about $900 for the very same button around the very same neck. Stop shopping for a pendant. Start shopping for a contract. Because the little device itself is very nearly the same commodity piece of plastic no matter whose logo is stamped on the front of it. What you are truly buying. The only thing that really changes from one company to the next is the paperwork, the monthly price, and how easily your mother is allowed to walk away. So you buy on those 3 things and on nothing else, month to month. No lock-in. A free trial long enough to actually test the device inside the real house. And you never, ever buy from anyone who reached out to your family first. Do exactly that. And a system that does everything the famous name does, very often including the fall detection that the famous name does not even offer, costs somewhere around $25 a month with no contract and no heavy setup fee. Over 3 years, that is roughly $900. Set that against the $3,000 and up your mother would have been locked into, and you have left close to $2,000 sitting in your parents' pocket for genuinely identical protection. $2,000 just for reading the terms instead of trusting the commercial. Now let me show you the 3 companies that already play by every rule on this list. The 3 I would actually trust with my own mother. The first one I trust is Mobile Help. Mobile Help starts at around $25 a month. There is no equipment fee, no activation fee, no long-term contract of any kind, and there is a risk-free trial period so your family can simply send it back if it does not work well in your parents' home. The range on the in-home unit reaches clear across an entire house and yard. It is the plain, honest, it simply works choice, and it is the very first one I point families toward when money is tight, which, for most people living on a fixed income, it is. The second is Bay Alarm Medical. Bay Alarm starts at around $28 a month, again with no contracts and no surprise fees, and a 30-day window to try it and send it back. But what really earns it a place on this list is not only the price, it is the service behind it, real people, 7 days a week, who actually answer when your family calls with a worried question. It lands right at the very top of the independent testing year after year, and it is the one I would hand to a parent who wants something simple and dependable that they never have to think about again. The third is Medical Guardian. Medical Guardian runs somewhere around $28 to $32 a month and still no long-term contract. Here you are paying a couple of dollars more, and what you get for that couple of dollars is speed. Some of the fastest response times anyone has measured, on the order of 8 to 10 seconds from the moment the button is pressed to a live human voice, all of it backed by top-rated monitoring. If your parent has already had one fall and every single second now frightens you, this is the one where the small premium actually buys you something real, which is the exact opposite of the premium you were about to hand somebody else for a 3-year cage. Any one of those three does everything the famous name on television does for roughly a third of the cost and with none of the traps attached. Because the difference from the very beginning was never the device. It was the salesman sitting at your mother's kitchen table. So let me leave you with the one rule that sits above all the others on this list. A medical alert exists to protect your parent. It should never be built to trap them. The button itself is worth about $25 a month. Every single dollar you are asked to pay above that number is not buying more safety. It is funding a sales department, and your family is the one paying its wages. If this saved you from even one bad decision today, send it to your mom or your dad right now, before the next dinner time phone call, before the next knock at the door. That is the entire reason this channel exists. And tell me down in the comments what your family has actually been quoted, the company, and the monthly number, because every single quote you post makes the next family that much harder to fool. Next time, we are taking on what might just be the biggest markup of them all. The hearing aids that cost $6,000 at a clinic and a couple $100s online for very nearly the same device. Your parents are almost certainly overpaying for those too, and I am going to show you exactly how much. I will see you there.